Ruben, obviously a disappointing day for your side, 4-0 loss, heading into the break for your team. What do you make of that? What are your immediate reflections?
Oh, disappointed, to be honest. Obviously, it's not an easy place to come. For a squad like us, you probably have to be at your best, and I don't think we were. And it is what it is. They're top of the league for a reason. You know, they're a quality outfit, and they were just too good for us tonight.
Coming in, just one shot for the entire game. What was your game plan coming in? What did you hope to get right today?
Look, first of all, we have to defend well against them, which I thought we did for long periods in the first half. And then the second half, you have to get through the early part of that half, and you know you're not going to have many chances against them because you can't have it both ways. You know, position for position, they're probably more powerful, more technical, and that's basically how it works. So, you know, whether we like it or not, we have to hope that they're having an off day, and we have to be at our best. And like I said, we just weren't at our best.
Conceding 3 goals in the last 15 minutes plus stoppage time, do you feel as though your boys kind of just ran out of ticker at the end?
I wouldn't say ran out of ticker. I think they, they tried hard, but belief and confidence is something that comes and goes. And when you have away game, 5 times in a row, there's a cumulative loading as well, for the players, mentally, physically, emotionally. It starts to take its toll. And I look at it quite simple. You look at we had a good performance against the Mariners a couple of weeks ago and get a win. And, we're sitting 6th on the ladder at that point, and you should really be going home and then playing in front of your home fans and then backing that up with another good performance. And instead, you're away to Adelaide at home at KEEPUP Stadium, which is not an easy place to go. And then the following week, you're away to Melbourne City, which is not an easy place to go. And, missing a few players tonight, Mustafa Amini, Aaron McInnes, we lost, pre-game to a vomiting bug. To be honest, we need all our signings, and we need all our best players fit and playing their best for us to compete at places like this.
With Aaron, is that just a one-game sort of unlucky timing of sickness? Right.
Yeah, look, I'm not sure. He was feeling off this morning, and he was obviously sick, and he tried to go out there and warm up, but he said pretty quickly he just didn't feel right, so we had to make that change.
It's a pretty young squad. Obviously, there's been a fair bit going on with Bruno's exit, and that has that been a distraction for, I guess, the lead up for this game, especially with them, as I said, being such young players?
Well, the first thing is it is a young squad, and like I said, when you're missing a couple of key players like your Mustafas and your Aaron McInnes, it takes its toll, and then we've got to then resort to, younger, less experienced players who have then got to step into that, into the breach of battle against the team that's coming first, and it's not easy. And there was a big divide, I thought, in class and quality between the two teams, and that is what it is. But like I said, like I've been saying, we're in the infancy of what's going to be a very big rebuild, and for us to have our government put us in a position where we have to start the season with 5 away games, it just makes it really difficult. And we're really looking forward to getting that little break and then getting to play in front of our home fans, and I think that'll make a big difference.
Ruben, you mentioned the break. I mean, you guys have got a longer break than anyone else because you guys are done after this week, still another round of games. But how do you tackle this month off? Is it sort of like a mini pre-season in a way? Is it just keeping the guys fit, conditioning, playing games? How do you tackle it?
It's a difficult one. In some ways the break, comes at a good time, obviously because we need it. Playing away so much consecutively, it takes its toll. So first of all, to freshen up. But, obviously there's no competitive games then for us to play. You can only basically train in-house, and even NPL teams, there's no NPL teams over there that we can play at that time of year. So it poses some challenges. But the first thing is, mentally for my players, the care I've got for my playing group and my staff is huge. And first of all, they deserve to have a break, and they deserve to have a little freshen up for a week or so and enjoy some time with their families and recuperate their bodies and their minds and refocus. And then we do look at it like a little mini pre-season, and we go into a period where there's a lot of home games, and then the advantage is on our side, and we get a couple of players back, and things can change really quickly. So, this league, it seems like it's all doom and gloom when you lose a couple and you can win a couple and jump the table pretty quick. So we'll stay really positive. We know, how early we are, in this process, and this is if if you look at it as a whole, this was never going to be the time where we reap our rewards for our hard work and what we're doing back home. This was never going to be the time at the start of the season away from home. Our rewards will come a lot later than that. It's going to take more time. Like I said before the season, it will take a couple of windows more than likely to rebuild a team from, bottom of the barrel in the league, to back to where we want to be and where we deserve to be. That takes time. So it's really important that we stay focused on those long-term goals, and we will.
Just a quick one, just on that incident between Van der Ven and Ryan Williams, do you think Ryan was a little bit stiff to get the yellow after that one?
Oh, I'm getting used to how it feels out there when you're the away team travelling at the moment. We went away to Wanderers. I think they doubled the fouls to us. We had 5 yellows to their 1. We started this game. He goes through the back of Ryan there. Looked pretty aggressively, it looked, from where I was, and then Ryan obviously reacts and he gets the yellow. So it just seems to be that pattern for us, and that's what happens with home crowds, home pressure. Referees then, either consciously or subconsciously, are persuaded by that, and we're on the rough end of the stick. But to be honest, no excuses from us. It's not about the referees, it's not about the crowd. It's just about the fact that through this adversity and through these hardships, we have to stick together. And the players did that, but at the end of the day, they just weren't good enough today.
It sounds like you've identified some areas where you think improvements are going to come. You're going to get players back. You'll get back home. You've got the window coming up in January. During this mini pre-season, what areas in terms of execution or tactics and strategy do you think you're going to zero in on to try to reap some improvements from this side as well?
Look, like I said, the first thing, to be honest, is just an actual refresh mentally and emotionally and physically for the players. That's the first focus. It was only a couple of weeks ago we were away to Newcastle. We had more chances on goal than the Newcastle Jets, who, are a pretty decent team at home. And then we went away to Central Coast, same story. But then away to Adelaide and away to City, who were both, top teams, we didn't create enough and we didn't play well enough with the ball. So there's some obvious areas, to improve in terms of creating chances. But again, some of that comes with, cumulative loading and the fact that the players are fatigued, and it's difficult. It's not easy.
Yeah. Just and how much of an opportunity is it to, I guess, get that front line in particular gelling? I mentioned before, we know Bruno exited. You had Stefan Kolakowski come back in again today. Is this a good opportunity to reset after maybe that sort of bit of turbulence and really get things firing again there? Yeah,
for sure. And some of them players like Steph, obviously he's been injured, carrying a little niggle. He's come back into the team today, so he's a little bit underdone. And there's some boys like, a Giordano Colli who's, shouldering a lot of the workload in those front, 2 positions, and doing an admirable job, I must say. He wasn't at his best today, and obviously you could see it was catching up with him, so he made some changes. But in reality as well, like you say, we lost Bruno. He's our marquee striker and he's our highest paid player. And so that's the focus, is who replaces Bruno. And that's the reason why I'm saying it will take time and it will take windows. It won't stop us from coaching the Stefan Kolakowskis and the G Collies and making sure that we focus heavily on their development. But at the end of the day, you look at Melbourne City's front line today, you've got maybe 2 guys that are going to the World Cup or potentially going to the World Cup if they get picked. You've got the league's golden boot. They're bringing on players like Andrew Naboo off the bench, Scott Jemison off the bench. They're premiership, championship winning players. We're not bringing players of that calibre off our bench, and that's the situation that we're in, and that's why we have to stay really focused on those long-term goals. Cheers, thanks. Thanks, guys. Thanks.